love the Eagles as much as we do, then hit that subscribe button and stick with us at Eagles Nest News for all the drama, updates, and hype all season long. The buzz in Philadelphia is louder than ever, and it all centers around a name that's been whispered in locker rooms, debated on podcasts, and now seems poised to shake the very foundation of the Eagles' defensive front. OSA ODIGHIZUWA. The excitement isn't just hype. Scouts, insiders, and even some anonymous front office sources have all hinted that OSA is not coming to simply fill a gap, but to transform the way opponents even think about approaching the line of scrimmage. Rumors suggest that his contract, while still under wraps, reflects a level of confidence from the Eagles management that borders on the unprecedented, signaling that they see him as a cornerstone for years to come. Fans have been dissecting every clip, every highlight, every social media post, trying to gauge how quickly he can adapt to the system, and the consensus is clear. OSA's arrival is a statement. It's the kind of move that could redefine defensive strategies, force offensive coordinators to rethink their game plans entirely, and create a ripple effect across the entire NFC East. Even casual observers are now following his every workout and interview, hanging on hints of attitude, technique, and readiness, because the narrative being spun is one of dominance, not participation. The anticipation is almost tangible, like the city itself is holding its breath, waiting for the first snap where OSA will hit the field and prove that all the chatter wasn't just noise, but the beginning of a new era in Philadelphia football. Whispers from insiders indicate that OSA ODIGHIZUWA's presence in the Eagles' locker room might be more influential than anyone can currently quantify, not just in terms of stats, but in the subtle shifts he could instill in team culture. His leadership qualities have been highlighted repeatedly in college reports, and now they're taking on a new weight in the NFL context, where veteran players are reportedly already adjusting their communication patterns to integrate him more effectively. There are murmurs that his ability to read offensive formations and anticipate plays has impressed coaches during unofficial sessions, giving the impression that he's not just physically ready, but mentally prepared to make an immediate impact. Fans are already speculating about the matchups he'll dominate, the double teams he will force, and the turnovers that could swing games in the Eagles' favor, fueling social media debates and unofficial analysis videos that seem to multiply by the day. Even rival teams are allegedly taking note, quietly adjusting their draft boards and free agent strategies in anticipation of OSA's influence. Philadelphia sports bars, online forums, and group chats have become hotbeds of prediction, analysis, and speculation, creating a kind of collective excitement that feels almost historic. Every training camp update, every coach quote, and every photo of OSA on the practice field seems to fan the flames, suggesting that this isn't just a roster move. It's a potential turning point for the franchise, an infusion of energy and skill that could reverberate for seasons. The rumor mill, which has been unusually quiet on other fronts, is now in overdrive, and even those who usually remain skeptical of preseason chatter are watching intently, wondering if OSA ODIGHIZUWA is truly about to live up to the enormous expectations being whispered around city. Speculation about OSA ODIGHIZUWA's scheme fit has become a favorite topic among analysts who claim that his skill set is perfectly suited for the Eagles' evolving defensive philosophy, which combines aggressive pass rush tactics with versatile, adaptive frontline coverage. Sources close to the team, who requested anonymity, suggest that OSA has been involved in private walkthroughs that mimic live-game scenarios, and that his adaptability has surprised even seasoned coordinators. Rumors of secret one-on-one sessions with veteran linemen and special coaching staff indicate that the team sees his potential as catalytic, capable of elevating everyone around him. Fans have taken to social media, posting breakdowns of past game footage, highlighting his technique, explosiveness, and situational awareness, attempting to predict how his individual strengths will translate into team dominance. Conversations around him aren't limited to sports circles. Local radio shows, neighborhood discussions, and even casual conversations at tailgate parties now inevitably drift toward the question: how quickly will OSA change the dynamics of our defense? The narrative being built is less about what he can do in isolation and more about the psychological impact his presence may have on both teammates and opponents, as if just the knowledge that he's on the field will alter offensive planning. Rumors suggest that his debut could coincide with a strategic shift in how the Eagles approach the first quarter, hinting at a readiness to leverage his explosiveness early in games to set the tone. Enthusiasm is tangible, almost contagious, with each insider tip adding layers to a story that feels part rumor, part prophecy. Philadelphia fans are preparing not just for games, but for a spectacle, a narrative unfolding in real time that could very well redefine the team's identity in the coming seasons. And all eyes are now firmly trained on OSA ODIGHIZUWA. Inside sources hint that OSA ODIGHIZUWA's impact may extend beyond physical play into the locker room dynamics, where rumors suggest that his presence could shift team hierarchy and influence rookie development in unexpected ways. Coaches have reportedly observed him engaging with younger players, offering guidance and insights, which has sparked speculation about a mentorship role that could accelerate the growth of the entire defensive roster. Social media chatter reflects a similar narrative, with fans dissecting interactions in press conferences, practice footage, and interviews, searching for signs that the team's chemistry is evolving in anticipation of his arrival. Even the city's media personalities are joining the conversation, amplifying the idea that OSA's presence could be transformative on multiple fronts, from tactical adjustments to the mental resilience of the squad. Rumors also suggest that rival teams are increasingly wary, not just of his physicality, but of his perceived ability to disrupt the flow of offensive units, forcing quarterbacks and coordinators to reconsider standard approaches. Analysts speculate about strategic matchups, proposing scenarios where OSA could single-handedly alter the balance of power in critical divisional games. This growing web of speculation has made every minor update from training sessions or interviews feel monumental, feeding into a narrative that blurs the line between fact and anticipation. Philadelphia has a long history of embracing football prodigies, and whispers indicate that OSA ODIGHIZUWA may not just meet expectations, but redefine what it means to dominate the front, creating an aura of inevitability around his role in the upcoming season. Rumors about OSA ODIGHIZUWA's conditioning and training regimen are also swirling, suggesting that his physical preparedness is unmatched, even by NFL standards. Reports indicate that he has been working tirelessly in private sessions, focusing on explosive power, agility, and stamina, and that these efforts are paying off in ways that could immediately translate to on-field dominance. Fans and analysts alike have begun speculating on how this conditioning will impact game tempo, sack potential, and run-stopping efficiency, creating a buzz that permeates discussions across forums, podcasts, and YouTube breakdowns. The speculation extends to the potential for strategic surprises, with insiders hinting at unconventional drills, personalized coaching techniques, and a focus on situational awareness that could make OSA a disruptive force on every snap. This narrative of preparedness feeds into a larger rumor that the Eagles may be positioning him as the linchpin of a defensive renaissance, capable of shifting not just individual games, but the broader dynamics of the NFC East. Community excitement is palpable as fans share insights, breakdowns, and even speculative simulations of plays, collectively imagining scenarios where OSA's athleticism and intelligence could overwhelm opposing offenses. The rumor mill has created a heightened sense of expectation, where even casual mentions of his name prompt debates, memes, and analytical videos that dissect every nuance of his style. Philadelphia is bracing for what could be a season defined by dominance at the front line, and all signs point to OSA ODIGHIZUWA as the catalyst, turning whispers into a near certainty that this could be a transformational moment for the Eagles franchise. Finally, conversations about OSA ODIGHIZUWA reach beyond the field, hinting at marketability, fan engagement, and a cultural shift that could reverberate throughout Philadelphia and beyond. Rumors suggest that his presence alone is influencing merchandise trends, ticket demand, and social media engagement, with fan speculation evolving into a broader narrative about the city's identity as a football powerhouse. Analysts speculate about sponsorship opportunities, promotional campaigns, and media appearances that could accompany his debut, amplifying the aura surrounding his arrival. In sports bars, online streams, and casual neighborhood debates, OSA is now not just a player, but a symbol of potential, a figure around whom stories of triumph, dominance, and cultural impact swirl. This layer of speculation adds a fascinating dimension to the ongoing rumor that his influence will be as psychological and commercial as it is tactical and physical, creating a convergence of hype that few players ever experience. Philadelphia fans are preparing for a spectacle, a season where each snap carries weight not just in points or stats, but in narrative potential, as OSA ODIGHIZUWA steps onto the field with the promise of transforming the team, the city, and perhaps even the conversation around the NFL's defensive elite. All of this builds toward an unspoken question that hangs in the air. Will OSA live up to the nearly mythic expectations being whispered in every corner of the Eagles' world, or is this simply the opening chapter of a story that will only unfold as the season progresses? Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The rumor mill doesn't stop with just on-field expectations. Speculation about OSA ODIGHIZUWA has now seeped into projections about game-changing moments that could define entire seasons. Social media feeds are flooded with clips of his past highlights, each dissected meticulously by fans and analysts who attempt to predict not just tackles or sacks, but the psychological impact he could have on opposing teams. Insider chatter hints at strategic plays specifically designed to maximize OSA's unique combination of speed, power, and intelligence, suggesting that his influence might force coordinators to alter game plans entirely. Rumors indicate that some rivals are quietly reworking their offensive line strategies in response to his anticipated presence, a silent acknowledgement that his arrival could shift the balance of power in ways few players manage to achieve. Philadelphia fans have latched onto every tidbit, creating elaborate hypothetical scenarios where OSA becomes the centerpiece of defensive dominance, turning what was once speculation into a near-tangible expectation. Even casual observers have been drawn in, sharing memes, predictive graphics, and passionate debates that amplify the narrative. This collective anticipation is almost palpable, a mixture of excitement and anxious curiosity, as everyone wonders when and how OSA ODIGHIZUWA will assert himself, and whether the Eagles' front line will finally gain the fearsome reputation that has long eluded them, turning whispers into a relentless crescendo of possibility and promise. Speculation surrounding OSA ODIGHIZUWA's impact on team morale is rampant, with insiders hinting that his mere presence could inject a newfound intensity into the locker room atmosphere. Veteran players are reportedly already adjusting to his style, taking cues from his work ethic, focus, and approach to preparation, which seems to suggest that he may redefine standards for professionalism and commitment on the defensive line. Analysts speculate that this influence could accelerate the development of younger players, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond the first snap. Social media conversations amplify this narrative, with fans highlighting subtle gestures, training interactions, and even off-field appearances that indicate OSA's ability to inspire his teammates. Rumors suggest that the coaching staff views him as a dual asset, not only a player capable of dominating games physically, but also a figure around whom team culture can evolve, blending skill, discipline, and leadership. Philadelphia's community of superfans has latched onto this story, turning every practice update, cryptic social media post, and reported anecdote into fuel for debate and projection. Analysts are already constructing elaborate what-if scenarios, imagining matchups where OSA's presence alone could alter offensive strategies, redefine defensive schemes, and create psychological pressure on rivals. The narrative is becoming a self-perpetuating loop. Anticipation builds, speculation grows, and every minor detail feeds into a larger rumor that OSA ODIGHIZUWA may not just participate in games, but fundamentally changed the tone, strategy, and identity of the Eagles' defense for years to come. Rumors about his conditioning and training intensity have become almost mythical, suggesting that OSA ODIGHIZUWA is operating on a level of preparation rarely seen even in professional football. Sources indicate that his regimen includes advanced strength training, agility drills, and situational simulations designed to replicate high-pressure game moments, implying a readiness that could make him a disruptive force from the very first game. Fans and analysts alike have pored over every social media clip, deciphering body language, recovery routines, and workout patterns, attempting to forecast how this dedication will translate into on-field results. Speculation is rampant that his conditioning could allow for sustained pressure throughout games, enabling the Eagles to deploy him in multiple roles, both as a pass rusher and run stopper, creating matchup nightmares for opponents. Inside whispers suggest that some strategic elements of the defensive scheme might even be built around his unique capabilities, emphasizing his explosiveness and ability to read offensive formations. Philadelphia is rife with discussions about potential double teams, quarterback hurries, and forced errors, all centered on the assumption that OSA's fitness and preparation will allow him to dominate physically and mentally. The anticipation of watching him in action has created a charged atmosphere, turning rumor into expectation and fueling a sense of inevitability among fans. The city seems united in a collective breath-holding, imagining how a player of his caliber could reshape not just individual games, but the entire narrative of the season, making every mention of OSA ODIGHIZUWA feel like a promise of dramatic, potentially historic football moments. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.